Hello, my darlings. I'm Niki Z. I'm a music teacher and a storyteller, and I'd like to welcome you to my storytime world. You know, we've all got our favorite things that we enjoy doing, and my favorite thing in the whole wide world is sharing my passion for music and for reading. I really am just crazy about all the places that reading can take me, and I definitely sing every single day. And that is exactly what you're going to get to do with me in all of my storytime videos. And the best part is, when you subscribe to the World of Niki Z's YouTube channel, you're going to get to watch any of your favorite videos anytime that you want to. And as a matter of fact, I'd like to encourage you to keep those storybooks at home with you so that you and your family can actually read along with me whenever you want to. And that is going to foster your love of reading. And after all, that's exactly what the World of Niki Z is supposed to be all about. Now, at the beginning of every video, before I start reading the story, I'm going to give you one vocabulary word. I want you to look and I want you to listen, because that's going to increase your vocabulary. I also am going to give you the moral of the story at the beginning, so that after I finish reading those stories to you, then I want you to decide if you think that the lesson of the story is the same as what I think that it is. Now, you never know what I'm gonna look like. I am really well known for wearing a lot of silly wigs and hats. As a matter of fact, I might just look like, well, this. Or even like this. Or this. How about this? Wow! Okay, you know what? I think you get the picture. And just to keep everything a little more interesting, we've actually created an animated, cute little version of me. I like to call her my avatar. She'll be popping up at the beginning and at the end of every video. Definitely keep an eye out for her. She'll have a very special message for you, and she's going to teach you a new game. It's called Can You Find Two? You know what? I think I'm going to introduce you to her right now. So, are you ready, Freddie? Okay, let's go. In today's story, I want you to listen for the word flabbergasted as I'm reading to you. Can you figure out what it means? I think that the moral of today's story is always repay a kindness that comes your way. What do you think the moral of today's story is? Make sure to watch for me in an awesome animated video right after the end of today's story. Now, The Elves and the Shoemaker is the very first video from the World of Niki Z. During the animated video after every other story time that you watch here in the future, I want you to look for two things that are different from the very first animated video. This game is called Can You Find Two? There might be, a new person in the video, or my outfit might change, or someone might be wearing sunglasses. You get the picture. Just go back and watch the first animated video at the end of The Elves and the Shoemaker so that you can compare the differences. It's that simple. And so, in the immortal words of the great Peter Pan, away we go! There once was a good shoemaker who, through a spell of bad luck, had become very poor. Finally, he had just enough leather to make one last pair of shoes. "Still, it is a fine piece of leather," said his wife, "as soft as butter, yet as strong as your hands." "Tonight, dear wife, I will cut the leather," said the shoemaker, "and first thing in the morning I will sew the shoes." The next morning, when the couple went into the workshop, They were flabbergasted by what they found. There, on the work table, stood 2 shoes, perfectly finished and not a stitch out of place. But who? How? Sputtered the shoemaker. His wife could only stare. Just then, a dandy gentleman came into the shop. "What magnificent shoes! Please, I must try them on," he said. The shoes fit perfectly. It was as if they had been made just for him. He was so pleased that he paid double the price. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy leather for 2 more pairs of shoes. Again that evening, the shoemaker cut out the leather for the shoes and went to bed. And once again, in the morning, there were the shoes, finished. Buyers were not lacking for these either, and as before, they were so pleased they paid double the price. Now the shoemaker had enough money to buy leather for 4 more pairs of shoes. The next morning, just as before, there were the shoes already made. On and on it went. Whatever the shoemaker cut out in the evening was finished by morning. Soon, the news of the splendid shoes spread throughout the town, and the shoemaker and his wife were no longer poor. One evening, not long before Christmas, as the shoemaker cut more leather for shoes, his wife spoke. "Dear husband, who has made us so rich? What if we were to stay up tonight and see who comes into our shop?" The shoemaker agreed, and so that night they lit a small lamp in the hall, hid behind their coats, and waited. As the clock struck midnight, they heard the creak of a window and the scuttle of small feet. Peeking out from behind the coats, they saw 2 tiny children sneak into the workshop. They were poorly shod, and they wore only raggedy sacks for warmth. "Elves!" the shoemaker's wife whispered. The tiny elves tiptoed across the room and climbed up onto the table. Then, humming and whistling, they began to stitch and sew and hammer so quickly with their little fingers that the shoemaker and his wife could not believe their eyes. The elves did not stop until all the shoes were finished and stood lined up on the table. Sturdy riding boots, delicate slippers, feather-light dancing shoes, and heavy clogs for work. Then the elves tiptoed out of the workshop, up the stairs, and out the window. The next morning the wife said, "The little elves have made us so rich. We must give them something in return. They run around with so little on, they must be freezing. I will make a warm dress, coat, and pants, and knit them each a pair of stockings. And I shall be happy to make them each a pair of fine shoes," said the shoemaker. They went right to work. And that evening they laid the presents on the work table. Then, like before, they hid behind the coats and waited. At midnight, the elves quietly slipped into the shop, ready for another night's work. But instead of pieces of leather, they found the beautiful presents. At first, they were too astonished to move. Then they hugged their new warm clothes and quickly put them on. When they were dressed, they leapt and bounced around the room singing,
"Now we're elves so fine to see, no longer cobblers will we be."
They jumped over chairs, raced around the shop, and finally ran out the door. The click and clack of their new shoes echoed through the streets. From that time on, the little elves were not seen again. But the shoemaker and his wife lived a long and happy life. The end. Wow! That's another fabulous story time we've got under our belts. Get it? I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you sharing some super special time with me today. Remember every day that we were each created in every beautiful size and color of the rainbow, and we were each created to be special in our own unique way. So I guess the only question I have for you is, what did you learn today? Where did you go today? And hey, what did you see? I'd like you to dream up a story of what you'd love to be. What did you read today? And hey, what did you learn? I know you might not like reading, but I want you to turn. Just turn your awesome, amazing heart right around, because reading, it's a very special gift. You know, books can take you really anywhere, battling on a pirate ship or soaring in the air. Where did you go today? And hey, what did you see? I'd like you to dream up a story of what you'd love to be. See you in your dreams.